You want to know what infuriates me? What makes me want to flip a table? It's when people have the audacity to sit there and claim that the tag team division is thriving without the USOs, that WWE has moved on and doesn't need them anymore, that the new teams have filled the void. Are you kidding me right now? Did we all just watch the same episode of Raw? Because the USOs didn't just return, they came back and burned the entire tag team division to the ground with one appearance, one segment, one warning that has every single team backstage absolutely shaking in their boots. If you missed what happened, you need to understand something right now. The landscape of WWE's tag division just got obliterated, and nothing will ever be the same again. The twins are back, and they're here to reclaim what everyone seems to have forgotten belonged to them in the first place. Stick around because what I'm about to break down will have you raging at how disrespectful people have been to the greatest tag team of this generation. Segment 1: The Return. Let me paint you the picture of what went down on Raw, because this wasn't just some casual return. This was a statement. The show was rolling along, we had a tag team match happening in the ring, decent match, nothing special, and then it happened. The lights flickered, the arena erupted, and those unmistakable voices hit. When we say you say so. The USO's music blasted through the speakers, and I'm not exaggerating when I tell you the building absolutely exploded. Jimmy and USO walked out onto that stage, and you could feel the energy shift. It wasn't just nostalgia. It wasn't just excitement. It was validation. It was a reminder that for months, something has been missing from WWE television, and that something was standing right there on that ramp. They weren't smiling. They weren't playing to the crowd. They had that look in their eyes, the same look they had during their record-breaking title reign. The look that says, we're not here to play games. They marched down to the ring with purpose. The teams in the ring, and I won't name them yet because we'll get to that, froze. You could see it in their body language. They knew exactly what was about to happen. The USOs slid into the ring, grabbed microphones, and what came next was absolutely brutal. She stepped forward first and said something that's been echoing in my head since it happened. Y'all thought you could hold down the tag division while we were gone? Y'all thought you could be US. The disrespect, the confidence, the absolute certainty in his voice. That wasn't trash talk, that was a promise. Jimmy followed up with something equally devastating. We've been watching, we've been waiting, and we've been disgusted by what this division has become without us. Can you imagine being any tag team backstage hearing that? Can you imagine the psychological warfare that just got unleashed? Quick engagement before we continue. I need to know, did you see the USOs return coming, or were you completely shocked? Drop yes or no in the comments right now. Segment 2: Why this matters. Now, some people might be thinking, okay, it's just another return, why are you so fired up about this? Let me tell you exactly why this is monumentally important. The USOs aren't just any tag team. They're not just former champions. They are the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history. Read that again. In history. They held those titles for over 600 days. 600 days. During their absence, we've seen teams come and go. We've seen temporary champions. We've seen flavors of the month get their moment. But none of them, and I mean none of them, have had the impact, the dominance, the legacy that the USOs built. They didn't just win titles. They defined what it meant to be tag team champions in the modern era. They had classic match after classic match. They elevated everyone they worked with. They made tag team wrestling matter again. And here's what really gets me heated. During their time away, there were analysts and experts saying that WWE had successfully moved on from the USOs, that the division was fresh without them, that newer teams had taken over. Wrong. Dead wrong. The tag division has been floating without them. It's been surviving, not thriving. There's a massive difference, and the USOs' return exposed the difference in about 30 seconds. The ratings don't lie. The crowd reactions don't lie. When the USOs are on television, people care about tag team wrestling. When they're gone, it becomes an afterthought. That's not a knock on the other teams, many of them are incredibly talented. But the USOs bring something different. They bring legitimacy. They bring prestige. They bring eyes to the division. Segment 3: The warning itself. Let's break down exactly what the USOs said in that ring, because every single word was calculated. This wasn't some off-the-cuff promo. This was a message that had been crafted during their entire absence. Jimmy USO grabbed that microphone and said, every team in the back needs to understand something. You're not competing for those titles anymore. You're competing for the right to face us. The arrogance. But here's the thing, it's not arrogance when you can back it up, and the USOs have proven they can back up every single word. She continued, we don't care who's holding the gold right now. We don't care what alliances have been formed. We don't care about your storylines or your friendships. When we want those titles back, we're taking them, and there's not a damn thing any of you can do about it. Then came the moment that has everyone talking. The USOs called out specific teams. They mentioned Judgment Day's tag team presence. They referenced the current champions. They brought up every major team on the roster and essentially said, "You're all on notice." But it wasn't just what they said, it was how they said it. There was no doubt, no hesitation, just pure, unfiltered confidence born from being the absolute best at what they do. The final warning was perhaps the most chilling: the tag team division has been in a coma. Consider this your wake-up call. The USOs are back, and class is back in session. We're going to remind everyone why we're the ones, and when we're done, this division will either be elevated or eliminated. Your choice. Trivia break. Here's a question for the hardcore fans. The USOs' record-breaking title reign lasted 622 days, but do you know which team held the record before them? Drop your answer in the comments. Segment 4, the tag division's response. Now let's talk about how the rest of the tag division has reacted, because this is fascinating. The immediate response in the ring was stunned silence. The teams that were competing just stopped. They stared. And then the USOs left. They didn't even stick around for a confrontation. They dropped their warning and walked out like bosses, leaving everyone to process what just happened. Backstage interviews started happening immediately. Multiple teams were asked for their reactions, and you could see the wheels turning. Some tried to act tough. Some tried to dismiss the USOs as living in the past. But you could see it in their eyes, they were worried. They know what the USOs are capable of. They know the level of competition just increased exponentially. The current tag team champions, whoever they may be at this moment, suddenly have a target on their backs that's bigger than anything they've faced before. It's one thing to defend titles against good teams. It's another thing entirely to defend against the greatest tag team of the modern era. The pressure just multiplied by 1,000. New Day, if they're still active as a team, knows exactly what the USOs bring. They've had legendary wars with them. Street Profits know. Alpha Academy knows. Every established team knows. But here's what's interesting: the newer teams, the ones who weren't around during the USO's dominant run, they're about to get an education. They're about to learn what it means to face true tag team greatness. Segment 5, the historical context. Let me take you back for a moment, because understanding the USO's history makes this return even more significant. These aren't guys who just showed up and got handed everything. They've been in WWE for over a decade. They've evolved, adapted, and grown into the performers they are today. Early in their career, they were the fun, energetic twins doing the Shibatao. People liked them, but they weren't taken seriously as threats. Then something changed. They aligned with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, and everything clicked. They became ruthless. They became focused. They became championship material. The transformation was stunning to watch. They went from being good to being great. From being contenders to being champions. From being a nice team to being the team. Their matches with New Day are legendary. Those WrestleMania encounters, those SmackDown classics, they tore the house down repeatedly. Their work with the Street Profits elevated both teams. Their program with RK-Bro created dream match moments. Every single feud they've been in has delivered. That's not luck. That's skill. That's two brothers who understand tag team psychology better than almost anyone in the business. And here's what people forget: the USOs are complete performers. They can work as heels or faces. They can do comedy or intense drama. They can have technical classics or hard-hitting brawls. Their versatility is unmatched. Name me another tag team with their combination of longevity, success, and consistency. I'll wait. You can't do it because they don't exist. Engagement question. Quick question: what's your favorite USOs match of all time? Drop the opponents and the event in the comments. I want to see what everyone considers their best work. Segment 6, what this means for storylines. The implications of the USOs' return on current WWE storylines are massive. Let's start with the obvious: their connection to Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. Roman is doing his thing. Solo Sikoa has been holding down the family business. But where do the USOs fit into that picture now? Are they coming back as part of the Bloodline, or are they doing their own thing? This is crucial. If they're independent from Roman, that creates fascinating dynamics. It means the family is operating on multiple fronts. It means they can dominate multiple divisions simultaneously. Roman on top as the tribal chief. The USOs running the tag division. Solo doing his thing. The Samoan dynasty could literally control the entire company. The power structure that creates is intimidating for everyone else. But what if there's tension? What if the USOs returning causes friction within the Bloodline? What if they have different objectives than Roman? The storytelling possibilities are endless. We could see family drama. We could see power struggles. We could see the Bloodline split, which would be absolutely nuclear for WWE programming. Then there's the question of who they target first. Do they go straight after the tag titles? Do they work their way up by dismantling teams one by one? Do they make an example of someone to send a message? The path they choose will define the next several months of tag team wrestling. Every decision they make will have ripple effects throughout the entire division. Segment 7 The Competition. Let's be real about the current tag team landscape and how the Usos fit into it. Right now, WWE has some talented teams, but there are levels to this game. Judgment Day has Finn Balor and Damian Priest who can team when needed, they're formidable, but are they USOS level? Questionable. We've got younger, hungrier teams trying to make names for themselves. We've got veterans trying to reclaim glory, but none of them have accomplished what the Usos have. This is what makes their warning so powerful. They're not threatened by anyone. They're not coming back desperate or humble. They're coming back as conquerors who temporarily left their kingdom and are now reclaiming it. There's a difference between confidence and dominance, and the Usos are operating from a place of total dominance. Think about the matches we're potentially going to get. Usos versus whoever the current champions are, automatic classic. Usos versus any combination of Judgment Day members, money. Usos versus any up-and-coming team trying to make a statement, career-defining for those young guys. Every possible matchup sounds incredible because the Usos have proven they can have great matches with anyone. But here's what has me most excited: new matchups. Teams that have emerged since the Usos left. Fresh opponents. Different styles. The Usos are so good that they can adapt to any team style and make magic happen. That's the mark of true greatness. They don't need specific opponents to have great matches, they make great matches with whoever is across from them. Segment 8 The Promo Game. Can we talk about how elite the Usos are on the microphone? Because this is something that doesn't get enough credit. When they grab those mics, magic happens. They have natural charisma. They have timing. They have the ability to make you believe every single word they're saying. That's rare in this business. Their catchphrases work. We the ones became iconic. Their back-and-forth chemistry as brothers creates promos that feel authentic because it is authentic. They're not reading scripts, they're speaking from the heart. They're expressing genuine emotions and thoughts. That connection with the audience is palpable. During their return promo, you could see teams in the back watching monitors, and I guarantee they were taking notes. That's how you return to a division. That's how you establish dominance without throwing a single punch. The Usos proved once again that sometimes the most devastating move in wrestling isn't a super kick or a splash, it's words that cut deep and stay with you. And they didn't yell the entire time. They didn't need to. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals. They used tone, inflection, pacing, all the tools of master performers. When they raised their voices, it meant something. When they got quiet, everyone leaned in. That's control. That's mastery of the craft. Trivia answer. Remember the trivia question about the previous record holders before the Usos? It was Paul London and Brian Kendrick with 331 days back in 2006 to 2007. The Usos doubled that record. Absolutely insane. Segment 9 Social Media Explosion. The internet broke when the Usos returned. I'm talking about trending worldwide within minutes. Twitter was on fire. Instagram was flooded. YouTube reaction videos started popping up immediately. The wrestling community collectively lost their minds, and rightfully so. What's fascinating is the debate that emerged. You've got one side saying finally, real tag team wrestling is back. You've got another side defending the current teams and saying the Usos need to prove themselves all over again. You've got people arguing about whether this return was needed or if WWE should focus on building new stars. The discourse has been intense. But here's what all sides agree on: the Usos returning is significant. Even the people who aren't fans of them recognize that this changes everything. That's impact. That's influence. That's what happens when true stars return to the place they belong. Love them or hate them, you cannot ignore them. The memes have been hilarious. The gifs of their entrance are everywhere. Clips of their warning are being shared across every platform. This is the kind of organic buzz that WWE dreams of creating. No amount of marketing or promotion can manufacture what happened naturally when the Usos' music hit. That's pure, unfiltered star power. Segment 10 The Future. So where do we go from here? That's the billion-dollar question. The Usos have returned. They've issued their warning. Now it's time for action. The tag team division is on notice, but warnings without follow-through are meaningless. The Usos need to back up every single word, and knowing them, they absolutely will. I'm predicting an absolute warpath. They're going to go through team after team, reminding everyone why they're the standard. They're going to have instant classics. They're going to create moments that people will talk about for years. And eventually, inevitably, they're going to reclaim those tag team championships and prove that their first run wasn't a fluke, it was a preview of their continued dominance. The question isn't if the Usos will succeed. The question is how much damage they'll do along the way. How many teams will they destroy? How many careers will they elevate? How many classic matches will they give us? Because make no mistake, even when the Usos beat you, they make you better. That's what the greats do. The tag team division was surviving without them. Now it's going to thrive with them back. Other teams are going to be forced to elevate their game just to keep up. The quality of matches is going to increase across the board. Competition breeds excellence, and the USOs just brought the highest level of competition back to WWE television. Closing, here's the reality that some people don't want to accept: the tag team division needs the USOs more than the USOs need it. They've already proven everything. They've already broken records. They've already secured their legacy. They're coming back because they love tag team wrestling and want to continue elevating it. That should be celebrated, not questioned. To anyone who thinks the current teams were doing just fine without the USOs, you're entitled to your wrong opinion. The numbers don't support you. The crowd reactions don't support you. The reality doesn't support you. The USOs bring a level of prestige, skill, and star power that simply doesn't exist otherwise. That's not disrespectful to other teams, it's just facts. The USOs are back. They've sent their warning. And every single tag team in WWE should be terrified, because class is back in session, and the professors of tag team wrestling are about to hand out some brutal lessons. This isn't the beginning of a comeback story, this is the continuation of a dynasty. Now I want to hear from you. Are you hyped for the USOs' return? Which team do you want to see them face first? Do you think anyone can actually stop them from reclaiming those titles? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is just getting started. Hit that like button if you're ready to see the USOs dominate again. Subscribe to Wrestling World CC for more content that tells you the truth about what's happening in WWE. Share this video with everyone who needs to understand that the tag division just got dangerous again. And remember, we the ones. The USOs are back, and they're here to reclaim their throne. The warning has been issued. The gauntlet has been thrown. And every team in WWE is about to remember why these brothers are considered the greatest tag team of the modern era. Let the dominance be.